Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I'm your host, Jarvis, and with me tonight I have Stu Woolley, Mark Langridge, and Johnny Commode will be on the show. We will have a full panel show. There will be a lot to talk about tonight. Today has been a lot of back and forth with the ex-players' goals, but we have Rio Ferdinand. We have a lot of these players exchanging words with the rest of the United players, and especially Martinez, Licha. There's been some updates about Kobbie Mainoo, and according to Fabrizio Romano, Kobbie Mainoo now is expected to stay at Manchester United after instant trust by Michael Carrick. We will talk more about it. There's also some new suggestions about the mystery player. Stu might know a little bit more about him, so we'll come back to that. And also, there are some updates on the next manager. We have heard this survey, but there are others. And we will talk a little bit at the end of the show about the Arsenal game coming up. So, guys, girls, if this is your first time, subscribe to the Tactical Devils and press the like while you wait. And we will be back after the intro. Yes, 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 yes. The Tactical Devils are back. It's Monday night. We are running a little bit late, but I hope you're fine. I hope you're fine. But we will try to do at least 1 hour, 40-minute show for you guys. I don't know how long Stu can stay on. Johnny Commode will join us in a couple of minutes, and we will try to have a Man United debate on Monday night. Stu Woolley and Mark Langridge, how are you doing? It's been quite a weekend, after winning against Manchester City, our rival. How do you guys feel? How are you, Stu?
Yeah, still buzzing. I had a lot to do today, though, so I've had my mind placed in Europe. I was trying not to travel as much this year if I could avoid it, and it's like, oh God, it's looking like I'm going to have to the road, Jack, again. So I've just been trying to plan my first quarter. And oh God, my headache. I've got a headache. But still buzzing. Jake is buzzing. I've got to tell you, Jake, he was there at the weekend. Well, anyway, he was there at the weekend, so he was absolutely buzzing as well. It's been good. I've got Jakey's birthday coming up on Friday. He's 25 now. I know I don't look like I've got a 25-year-old, but he's 25. So I've got his birthday coming up. So yeah, got a lot on my plate this week, but all good, all good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Keeping yourself busy. Mark, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good. Just about recovered from watching a late Christmas miracle. So
yeah.
It was an interesting game. I wouldn't want to see it another 100 times over because I'm pretty sure it turns out different. But it was a great game to watch.
It was 100%. It was something special, and no one of us expected Man United to win. Or okay, Stu said in the preview we were going to win, so I got to give it to him.
I was close. I was close. Yeah, I you know me. I always think we'll win the big games, but
well, shoot, they're the only ones we turn up for.
Yeah, they are. That's true. So it'd be interesting to see what we do Sunday. I know we won't be talking about that until later on in the week, but it'll be interesting to see what we do Sunday.
Yeah, we can have a little chat about the Arsenal game later in the show, because it's a slow news day, and that's a good thing, I think harmony is finally over Man United, and the only thing that's been a little bit in the news today, I would say, is the ex-players. It's been some back and forward with the players like Paul Scholes, like Nicky Butt, Rio Ferdinand, talking about the ex-players and how they did it in their day, and how the players should react and what they should do. We can just jump right into it because we will also cover the Kobbie Mainoo news. Well, what the hell? We can just go with the Kobbie Mainoo news first, and then we can go to the ex-players, because I want to have your take on the magician Kobbie Mainoo, because this news came out. Give me 2 seconds, and I will just share the screen. 1, 2, 3. It's not unexpected, but Fabrizio Romano came out with this earlier today. This is from Santa Devils, that the Kobbie Mainoo is now expected to stay at Manchester United after instant trust by Michael Carrick. Mainoo was considered a loan move to play on a regular basis and develop, never a permanent exit from Man United. And his contract situation will remain key topic in the next months. So, there's more to talk about this. But first of all, we got the confirmation. No one would ever expect Kobbie Mainoo to leave after a performance like he had against Manchester City. But also now, what about his contract situation? How do we resolve this? And at the end of the day, how much money is actually Kobbie Mainoo worth if he keep on putting in performances like this?
Yeah, it's a big question. Key question. Big question. Big Johnny K, how are we? My question is, of course, why hasn't he done that and turned up under Amorim? And unfortunately, whether people like it or not, it just goes to show another self-entitled, self-important footballer in the modern day game. And that's what really pisses me off about footballers today. No doubting he had his best game since probably the FA Cup final, where he played a similar style and had a similar role of importance within the win. But the Kobbie Mainoo of yesterday is no different to the Kobbie Mainoo of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. And whether Amorim didn't like him or not, a footballer's job is to turn up and play football. That's it. That's what you get paid for. You get paid. Goalkeepers get paid to keep balls out. So I'm somewhat annoyed by him. I'm somewhat annoyed, as you well know, Jarvis, because I did mention it, didn't I? Sunday, I'm somewhat annoyed by the players that they decided to turn up from that. Look, I'm really pleased about certain elements of what's happening with the club in terms of stability, maybe now between now and the end of the season. I also in total agreement that I think Amorim's got me words out. Stubbornness was pivotal in the players turning their back on him, and they truly did. It's obvious they turned their back on him because of the performance that you saw. And so our choices are now, and everybody's choices are, where do we think? And Jarvis, you're absolutely right, by the way, pal. 100%. What is Kobbie Mainoo's value to the club now? And what do we perceive his value to be to what he perceives his value to be? Now, in all fairness to Kobbie, he kept his mouth shut completely. He wasn't in the press.
Yeah.
His brother was a complete moron. We all know that. We've all had our say on that. And Johnny's had his say in our group chat. So we know each other's. But Kobbie, in his credit, he kept his mouth shut and he kept on doing what he was supposed to do. If we see the same Mainoo on Sunday, nothing should ever be forgiven in life, in my opinion. You should be held accountable, whatever you do, whatever level you are. But if we get to see the Kobbie Mainoo between now and the summer, has he got his eye on Manchester United, or does he have his eye on the World Cup? And that's a big question.
Like Luke Shaw?
Well, you said it before, Mark, in all fairness. You've said it a lot of times. Johnny Kay said it, and so is Jarvis. And there's a big distinction between having your eye on Manchester United and having your eye on the World Cup. But we all know that. We're all footballers. Devilish Tacticos know it as well. So I was delighted to see him come back, Jarvis. I did. But equally, I'm hugely frustrated of the arrogance of some of the players to put on a performance like that. And, that passing drill, the little dance around with Shirky, didn't know where to go, Guardiola crying, phoning up Gianni Infantino. They can't do this, stop the game, pull them off like the Senegalese did last night, and all of that. We deserve to beat City on Sunday. We were better than City on Sunday. We pressed like you both said we would on Sunday. We cut Rodri out the game, Jarvis, like you said we would on
Yeah.
Sunday. We took our chances on Sunday because the 3 that we missed, we still took. Took all those chances. Remember also, there's a lot happened in that game that hasn't happened during the first part of the season. So I would imagine Carrick has asked questions, and rightly so he's asked questions, and I hope we now kick on 100% see the same Mainoo on Sunday, the same Mbeumo, Bruno, Casemiro, Maguire, because I think he'll start with the same team. He may start with Sesko, but I think he'll start with the same team. So I'm going to have to reserve judgment, I'm afraid, on Kobbie until the end of the season. I really am, because if he, but I'm glad to see him. Let's be honest, I am glad to see him back.
Stu, you touched on it last night. Was it last night? Well, you touched on the review show anyway.
Yeah, I think it was last night.
And it was apparent 60 minutes onwards, he fell off like normal Casemiro would fall off because his legs went. He doesn't have good legs because he hasn't had the games. And he did have that resurgence, but that's because, do you know what? Man City made it so easy for him to do his job by not... They just stood on the pitch in set positions and made it so easy for him to be marked. Like, he just man-marked Rodri. That's all he did for the whole game. Until they got to our final third, and then he dropped in alongside. But his job was man-mark Rodri. Every time the ball went to Rodri, you press him.
Yeah.
Because we all know, and this is where I think Michael Carrick's masterstroke was, everyone's looking... Jarvis, you said, oh, they're doubling up as the fullbacks. No, they're playing 4-4-2, and that's your job as a winger. You double up with your fullback. Anyone's ever played 4-4-2, you play in pairs. Doesn't matter where the ball is on the pitch, you play as pairs. What you don't do is you don't have an ill-disciplined Bruno. You push him forward into the 2 and let everyone else, because you know Mainoo will stick to his job. You know Casemiro will stick to his job. That's what he did. I'm going to let you push forward. In other words, I'm going to get you out the way because you will go missing. I think that was the masterstroke. But that was the main change he made, was to push Bruno so far forward. He wasn't necessarily a problem in the defensive structure.
Well, talking about the fullbacks, I agree, Mark, when it comes to working as a pair in the 4-4-2, but you could also see a lot of the times, for example, a player like Mbeumo working as a right back in times, and he was our number 9. So it wasn't just the winger and the fullback having the role as doubling up. They all had the role and they all felt the responsibility. So I think Carrick drilled into them how to defend. And they all saw it when the space is vacant. You move, you go in there, you do your job. Doesn't matter if you're a number 10 or a winger or who else. We need 2 guys out there to defend on the flanks.
But the worst part is, and Stu, you probably said it, or Jarvis, you probably said it last night. I might have missed it. There's no difference to playing 4-4-2 defensive formation or 3-5, because that was still their job to get back into that exact same position.
We said it before, haven't we, Jarvis? We've made references to that actually on our tactics night. Me and Jarvis, we actually always put ourselves, to be fair, in a 4-5-1, don't we, or a 5-4-1. That's how we tend to put ourselves. But effectively,
and that's what I mean. He took Bruno out of that 4-5-1 and made it a 4-4-2 defensive formation.
Yeah,
so he took Bruno out because he'd put other people out of, like, because he runs around and tries to get on the ball. The other player doesn't know where to be. He's like, you shouldn't be there. Why are you there? And he's just standing there waiting in between the lines. Monday Night Football in the UK have just done such a brilliant breakdown, Thierry Henry and thingy, of what Man United did to Man City and how easy Man City made it for Man United to play that way.
Yeah, so, they did.
Even on my breakdown, I said their fullbacks step into midfield, you'll counter-attack behind the fullbacks, and you just have to wait for them to step up. And then you go. It was that straightforward, wasn't it? So,
sorry, John, just before you come in, I thought Monday Night Football, for once, was absolutely brilliant in their analysis of Chelsea as well. Chelsea in particular, their analysis was Carragher. I had to look twice to make sure it was Carragher. His analysis was amazing, to be fair. Talking about, playing through the middle, the man-to-man marking. Me and Jarvis have spoken, Mark, as you well know, and you, Johnny, about players following players all around the place and how uncomfortable it can make you if you're a centre-half and you're out on the left wing. Yeah. Because your job is to man-to-man mark. Henry is an example. So I couldn't believe Carragher did it. Somebody must have had to write it for him. He must have had to learn a script on that one, because his delivery of it and his explanation and his demonstration of it, well, it shocked me. Sorry, Johnny. I was really shocked.
Yeah. Before we go to John, I want to ask John a question, because no one of you guys actually answered my question. I talked about what's Kobbie Mainoo's valuation. How much is he worth for the club? And
I'm sorry, I didn't get around to that.
We have heard him, in his contract negotiation, we talked about 200K, 180, 80K, maybe 150, 130. So, looking forward, if he keeps putting in performances like this, John, how much is Kobbie Mainoo actually worth for the club?
Yeah, well, there's two answers to that. If he's got 1 year on his contract remaining in the summer, he hasn't signed a new deal, he's probably worth maximum 30 million, 40 million max. If he has 2-3 years on his contract, you're probably looking more like 60, maybe 70 million, because you've also got to factor in he's 20 years old and he's obviously a talent. You tend to pay more for talent these days more than actual like players who are like ready-made, like mid to late 20s now. So you're buying the potential now. So that's why I think he's got talent, but he still needs to develop his game. And being 20 years old, he's still in the growth stage in terms of physical and everything. And this is where you look at things like he hasn't played many minutes this season. Yeah, he's been injured twice. With he missed the Tottenham game in November. Probably in the Bournemouth game, he picks up another injury. Is this part of his growth? Maybe that's the reason why Amrin wasn't picking him, because he might be at risk of injuries if you're not careful with him. And obviously, you're 20 years old, your body's adapting, and I'm sure he has been doing gym work to build up his muscles and everything. But sometimes you can do too much of that at an early age, so therefore you pick up those injuries. Sometimes you just got to allow the body to develop in its own way. Your body's not really fully developed until maybe 23 years old, possibly. So you still have to manage that. I think maybe at times Ten Hag overused him, but Amrin maybe underused him. So it's about striking that balance between allowing him to develop, but also about not overusing him, because you got to allow his body to develop. The issue is, does he and his entourage feel that way? He's obviously talking the World Cup, which, for me, I don't think he will go, but you got to factor these things in. You got to have a strategy and a plan for how you're going to use him. He is our future if he does sign a new deal. However, if it gets to the point where he's not signing his contract by the summer, do you risk letting him go for free, or do you actually say,
he's got 2 years left on his contract?
I thought he's got 1 year left in
plus
the summer.
one.
Oh, does he have a plus one?
Right.
Sorry, I didn't realise he had the extra.
And he's on 25,000 a week. So these people saying over 100,000, I wouldn't let you anywhere near one in the club.
I agree. I think he should be maybe increase it to, I don't know, 60,000 a week or something, or 70. Something that's
staggering, don't you?
Or what you could do is set a base fee of 60, but if you continue to have a role in the team, by the age of 23, you might earn 120k or something, just say staggered increases based on performances and everything, and give bonuses and incentives. If you score 10 goals in a season, you'll get £2 million extra or something. I think this is where we got to think cleverly. He's clearly a talent. I don't think anyone particularly wants him to go, but at the same time, you've got to allow him to develop in his own way. That you can't he is our future, but at the same time, you can't just overuse him, play him in every match because he will get injured. So it's about striking that combination, in my view.
Mm-hmm.
I think Johnny's spot on. I think
And-
you're absolutely spot on.
Sorry, Mark. Hold your thought. I just want to say I made a poll for you guys and get your vote in and how much you actually believe Kobbie Mainoo is worth a week. So the options are 80k, 120k, 150, or 200k. So get your vote in and we will figure out how much it's worth on the debate. So Mark, you were saying.
Well, I understand why, Johnny, you're so spot on about that's what we used to do with bonuses, but like because of his age, he's not a first team starter.
Yeah.
So you say, look, if you break into the first team, we'll really look at your contract. But every time you play, you double your salary. You know, so you're on 60, maybe you get 120 for that week because you're playing. You know, you've got to incentivize youth to turn up day in, day out because we don't have the players for them to follow. But yeah, those days are sort of gone, and it is the advisors. Anyone looking for 200,000, that was coming off of the England performance, wasn't it? That's where they opened that all, and he was doing bits for England. But what's he done to deserve? Even when he got called up for England, he wasn't a £200,000 a week player, was he? When you look at the players on that money around the world, look at the players on £200,000 a week. You're kidding yourself. Whoever's advising him that.
The other facts in all of this, when you think he scored effectively the winning goal in the cup final in Ten Hag's second season, it's been a season and a half since, and he's only scored 2 goals since then.
Yeah,
one of them was
what I will say.
Yeah,
Obi is on 30,000 a week.
Well,
That's where the club has screwed it. They gave him that progression contract.
Yeah. To be honest, I'd only pay him 50 a week, but I'd give him a decent signing on bonus fee.
I'm in that boat. Yeah.
So I would give him a good signing on fee, whatever that may be, and I would pay him 50 a week. But I like John's way as well. I'd incentivize him. It would be appearance fee. Because the thing is, if you are a Casemiro, as an example, your win bonus is probably anything from 15 to 20 grand a week. If you are a Maguire, if you are that ilk of player, that's your win bonus. Rumour has it De Gea's win bonus was 30 grand a week, or 30 grand his win bonus was. Yeah. So depending on an ilk, but I agree with all of you really, and you as well, Jarvis, because you've got to be sensible around this table when you're negotiating with players like Kobbie Mainoo, and the crab in my throat would still remain. We haven't turned up for 6 months, and now all of a sudden you're happy you suddenly turned up. I can't rely on you to give you a 200 grand a week contract. So he's in the 50,000 a week realm for me, but a decent signing on fee as a thank you, a little bit of loyalty because he didn't kick up a fuss. He just down tools in other ways, and then I would give him a bonus system, and I wouldn't do it on goals, John, because I think you're right. He's not going to sign a goal bonus thing if he's only scored 2 in whatever. Exactly. I wouldn't sign a goal bonus thing.
But at the same time, if it's true, the rumours are he's the plan for the club is for him to replace Bruno. Then
he's got to. I agree. He's got to. But I think at this point in time, you wouldn't go with a goal bonus because I don't think you'd sign it. But for example, if he did 3 chops, Jarvis chops in a game, if Jarvis allowed him to do 3 chops in a game, and you give him 5 grand a chop, then Jarvis is a bit multi-millionaire by now anyway, because he's more than that. But no, on a serious note, you would have to look at his ability throughout the game to influence the game. Maybe look, you get a man in a match bonus, which is achievable for somebody like him, that type of thing. So that's how I
play him in a holding role, Stu. You give him part of the clean sheet bonus, don't you?
Or the clean sheet bonus, yeah. I mean, as a defender, Mark, no chance. I keep my clean sheet bonus, and the goalkeeper's also saying no chance. He keeps that. But no. Again, that's the point. If we don't do it, you get this as a clean sheet bonus, man and a match bonus, that type of thing. That's really where you need to be with him, rather than like you say, John, 2 goals in 6 months. Even the dumbest agent, I would hope, wouldn't take a goal bonus. But you're right, though, Johnny. In 2 years, 3 years' time, when you come to renegotiate, then you could insert that clause. Hold on, Bruno's not longer here. You're our Bruno, for want of a better phrase. We're now going to stick you on a goal bonus. We want 10 goals out of you next season or this season.
And this is what I mean about in regards to, I'm pretty sure we agreed a similar contract to either one of the players we signed or Ahmad. I can't remember which one, but there is a player where it might be Xerxes, actually. I can't remember, but there is a player we signed recently who you have that incentive where they're starting the standard wage, but they sign a 5-year contract and their wage increases slightly each year that they perform. So I can't remember what player it is, but we did agree something like that. I think that would be perfect for Kobbie, because if in 2-3 years he's one of our main players, he's goals, assists, then fine, you can earn over 100k a week then. But for now,
I mean, you could run with appearance fee. Yeah, if you match, you get over 30 appearances in all competitions this season, you automatically get a 30 grand a week bump.
I've got one for you,
or something along those lines.
And I don't want to sound like Roy Keane, but if you go out there and do your job, guess what? You get a better contract. Just go out there, do your job. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah,
this is what Michael Carrick's saying to him now. Just do the basics, guys. That's all I'm asking for you to do. Just go out there, do your job. I know Keane's been in the news constantly with the whole Carrick thing, but he's so right when he says that. And I know it's a bit of a meme. Just go out, do your job. There's a ball at your feet. Pass it to someone else, or stick it in the net. Don't put it in your own goal. Football is that simple game.
Yeah. 100%. By the way, we have a super chat coming in from Bilal. Before we go to the super chat, I want to say on the Kobbie Mainoo thing, I think his agent and his entourage is not advising Kobbie wisely, because I think he's at the stage in his career now when he needs to focus on getting his football right. It doesn't matter really if he gets 70k a week or 90k a week, 120k a week now. He needs to stabilize as a footballer and needs to putting in, week out performances and prove to all of us, if you do that, if you focus on football mainly, who are we kidding anyway? If you are on 50k a week, you're not starving, to say the least. You're having a wonderful life, and especially at a young age. So
on 25 grand a week, pal, are you?
You can. That's the thing. So you can just leave it. Let this agent, let this entourage tell him, okay, we'll take the contract. We renegotiate, but you need to focus on football. Start putting in performances like you did against Manchester City, and we'll talk in a couple of years. Let's just sign the contract, be done with it, get all the noise out of the way so you can focus on football, my son. That's how
the right move. Give me something to negotiate with. That's exactly right, pal. Give me an arm, give me a leg up. I can go into that board and say, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, you're asking for this. Show me what you're giving me for it.
Perfect.
It's simple.
That's exactly it, pal. That's exactly it.
So for me, I think this is the solution. Let's put the Kobbie Mainoo debate in the bin. We have so much more to cover, and I have a lot of interesting thing to cover tonight. Old Jarvis's corner style of questions. We will talk about violent conduct. We'll talk a little bit about the striker drought. What we are seeing. So, there will be much to cover. We have this super chat coming in from I Am Titanium saying, I have 2 more players who played for Real Madrid and Manchester United. We loaned Varela to Real Madrid B and Laurie Cunningham, who had the loan spell at Man United.
He did.
Wow.
He did.
We made by the way, we had a quiz on the...
Well Googled, Bilal.
No, Bilal knows this stuff. Let's just say Bilal knew this. Big up, Bilal. Thank you so much for the
Could you
super chat.
imagine? You remember that Arsenal game, that 3-2 10 years ago with Rashford, and like we name all those players.
Yeah.
It's like how many people will be able to name that team? But Varela played it right back that day, didn't
I some years ago, and a boring. No, it's not a boring story. It's actually a true story. A couple of years ago, I was working at Silverstone on an event. I was invited down there by someone. I can't say who, but I was invited down there by someone anyway. And Luther Blissett was there, and I had a big chinwag with Luther Blissett. I mean, a fucking legend, Luther Blissett, an absolute legend. And I did ask him the question about AC Milan, and you should have seen the fucking look he gave me, and his bald fist at the side of me.
Forgive me, Stu, if I remember correctly. So he, what was it like? AC Milan signed the wrong player, if I remember.
That's. I mean, he would not have him, but word has it that AC Milan thought they'd signed John Barnes. It's very similar, because I said to him, I said, I wouldn't worry about it anyway. And he looked at me and he was like grunting at this point. He was fucking contorted here. And I thought, Jesus, I'm in for a bit of trouble. I said, but I wouldn't. And I tried to laugh, but I said, I wouldn't worry about it, because I can't think of the player now. Not Ronaldinho. Who went to Man City? Thought he was coming to United.
Oh, that was Robinho. Yes,
Robinho. I said yes, and I knew the name at the time, and I said I wouldn't worry about it. Robinho. Thought.
Do you remember? Do you remember when about 20 years ago, City signed a player called Bianchi?
Oh yeah.
On the first day, because both training grounds were in Carrington at the time. He drove to United.
Yeah. Another one about City. This is even
Ferguson done that as well, didn't he? Ferguson messed up. He signed. He thought he signed Pele, and he actually signed Bebe.
Yes, Bebe. Yeah, one of the best ones is Benjani.
Turn the B upside down.
Yeah. One of the best ones is Benjani. When Portsmouth sold him to Man City, and he wouldn't go. He refused to go. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Harry Redknapp was like, "No, you gotta go.
He wouldn't go. He was in the airport. He wouldn't. He missed about 5 flights, didn't he, or something? He came on that fucking plane.
To be honest, I wouldn't blame him for wanting to stay at Portsmouth.
No, not that time. City, do you, mate?
Yeah. Well, what was it? Wasn't there a story once with Graham Souness at Southampton that they had a player on trial, and they tried him, and then they brought him on for a game like Matt Letizia got injured, and he couldn't. He was like, this guy wouldn't be fit for Sunday League, and he made an appearance for Southampton.
I remember that.
The best one was Harry Redknapp, signed George Ware's brother, brought him on, subbed him off within 5 minutes, never to be seen again.
Oh,
that was videotape evidence.
George Ware's cousin or something.
Yeah, and it was all done on VHS videotapes, and it was the biggest. He said it's the biggest mistake he ever made in football.
And Matt Letizia was saying to him, "What the fuck is it? He can't even control bag of cement."
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Didn't Harry Redknapp got somebody at the stand in a pre-season friendly once?
Lee Chapman.
Yeah, that was funny.
And then he admitted, and he scored. He said, "I must have it on the day he was better than Chapman."
That's it. Yeah, he scored. Fucking hell. Oh dear, Jarvis says that's it. Bang, time out.
It was the gong. The gong came in, and now we got to go to the next subject, guys. I'm on a tight schedule because I have so much to go through. But thank you, everybody. That was a great segment. We heard the thing with Paul's goals, and afterwards, after the game, Licha comes out. I told him already, if you want to say something to me, you can come to me, to my house. Whenever, I don't care. Everyone can talk on TV, but when you see them face to face, no one says anything. And Paul Scholes replied something about you can come for a cup of tea or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. This came out today. Paul Scholes on Lisandro Martinez. I haven't changed my opinion on him yet. I'm still not sure that you can win a league with him. So Paul Scholes is out and not speaking well on Martinez. I don't know why, but something is going on. And also, Nicky Butt came in and he said, when I was at Newcastle, I got so much stick. I got people knocking at my door when my kids were in the house, throwing things at my house. I didn't go out crying. It's my job. I'm a professional footballer. I get paid a lot of money to perform. When you do that, when you don't do that, you take some shit. So, this is the debate. There's been a lot of reports coming back and forward. So I want to do a round around the table and get your thoughts on the recent development with the ex-players and our current players. You want to go first? Yeah.
I'll go first. First off, Michael Carrick's already come out and told them to stop engaging in this and to go on and do their job. So that's a really good place to start. But the manager's already stepped in. But what I will say is Martinez pocketed Haaland, yeah? We all made the joke about Haaland's in his back pocket. He got nowhere near the ball. What did Martinez do for the last 3 games with his defending that cost us goals? So they're not wrong in their criticism because he's been shit in the games before the Man City derby and he was still playing in the back 4 under Fletcher. He made so many mistakes, but against Haaland, he was good. Yeah, that. But so they're not wrong. And why are they even getting involved? The manager's first press conference, he said about like comments being made, don't listen to him. Why do you let me that bother me? That's not going to change what I do. They are soft, like it's just soft mentality if you let any of that and to bring it up on national TV live. It's like it's just an obvious answer, isn't it? Media trained, Stu. You know about media training, obviously. No, we just focus on the next game. We don't listen to outside noise. That's all you've been briefed to say, and you want to come back at him. I actually thought he was a really good leader and that kind of thing. I was like, now you just stir.
But you saw him after the final whistle. Martinez, he went like this. I've seen the footage. He to the crowds.
No, I watched it live, Jarvis. But where was he saying that 2 weeks ago when he got turned like a truck and Thingy's put the ball in the top corner because he overstepped to his left and couldn't get turned back right to block it. He was still running into the crowd, wasn't he? That was only one game before? Or was that 2 games before?
Leeds game, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah, it was
a Leeds game.
Where the Southern come on and bend in the top corner. So the fact is, keep your mouth shut because you're going to make mistakes. Go out there, say something at the end of the season. And when you've got as many winners' medals as those two, then fair play. But all they did was say something on that we all thought. Who here thought Haaland would smash Martinez all over the pitch?
I didn't.
He does most big centre backs. You see him and Saliba smashing into each other. He doesn't come off second best, does he?
To be honest, look. To be honest, I've sent them all 3 of them some ABC books so they can start learning how to speak properly because it's just I find it pathetic at best that grown men, and by the way, the contradictory statements from all of them actually, because Martinez said that Scholes could go to his place. Scholes said he offered him Martinez back to his place months ago, and Nicky Butt says, "Well, I don't take any shit from anyone." What the fucking all you 3 are talking then? You're all contradicting yourselves. It's just. The problem you've got is it's reporters asking questions to poke the bear, and as soon as the bear gets poked, everyone then starts going in. They just need to knock it on the head. The mainstream media shouldn't have said nothing about it today. Shouldn't have been on Twitter. Shouldn't have been anywhere. Nobody needs it. Nobody needs it. Back in my day, this happened. Back in, before my day, this happened. Dennis Law could have said that about Scholes. Scholes says it about Martinez. It just, for me, it's just tittle tattle that we don't need. We don't need the ex-players going in on the current players. We don't need the current players going in on the ex-players because, crikey, trust me, If you were other clubs where they'd got no history whatsoever, no league of great players like we've had, and then other players were going in on pundits and stuff like that. It's mind blowing. Again, do you not think it's everything that's wrong with modern day football? It's everything. Just zip it. Don't say anything. And just get on with it, because the bottom line is, instead of arguing the toss, and he had a great game against Haaland, but I'll tell you now, tell you something for nothing. Maguire was a big help to him in his pursuit of Haaland. He was a big help to him, because Haaland didn't want anything to do with Maguire. Nothing. He didn't want anything to do with Maguire or game. He thought he could bully Martinez, and Martinez turned around and said, "You can't. And if you do, I've got my mate here to come and help me out." So, and that's how football should be. So, to be honest, my old mate, it's handbags stuff, it's schoolyard, infant school stuff that just doesn't need to be said. It really doesn't. We've won. We've won big.
But Stu, I'm trying to see it from a different perspective. What are these ex-players actually trying to achieve? So I'll give this to you, John. But are they trying to push the buttons on some of these players, trying to get the performance out of them? It clearly affects a player like Martinez. So maybe Button and Scholes are just thinking, okay, what the hell? Let's just get on with it. If he performs, that's good for United. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think they have an agenda behind of this? Maybe not one agenda that we think of.
I don't know. I don't know what the agenda is. The issue with a lot of our former players, they don't, in my view, they don't always live in the reality. It's like most of these players came into a winning United team. Like when they made their debuts, they already won 1 or 2 Premier League titles. They were supported by players like Paul Ince, Steve Bruce, Brian Robson, players like that. So as much as they had a lot of success, of course they did, and they were brilliant players for us. You can't, the atmosphere was right, and they came into a winning team. It's a bit different for players today. Now, for me, Martinez is one of the few people who, for me, his mentality, when you think he's had so many bad injuries and he has come back, he's one of the few players that we have where he has shown a bit of fight, and everything. And, maybe it's an Argentinian thing. He does seem to be a tough person, In regards to what Button Scholes trying to achieve, I have no idea. I just think, okay, they have a podcast, and I know what our channel doesn't see this, but you think the way modern football is it wants a reaction, Talk Sport do it. Sky Sports increasingly do it. I saw, what was it, they got 3 United fans, 3 City fans in a room where they were giving snippets of the game and everything. To me, it's increasingly get that bite to get a reaction. Now, for me, I agree with Stu. I think this whole thing has been blown out of proportion. It's ironic that Nicky Butt was saying, like, effing grow up. He's like, well, maybe he should grow up.
That was my point. That was my point. Yeah.
While you're trying, I don't know what you're trying to achieve. I think at times the criticism of the ex-pros can be too far, and I don't. So long, of course, our current players have to do better. They have to be willing to take criticism, but at times the ex-pros might take it too far. So I don't mind occasionally one of our players just saying, like, hang on, this is not helping, and I think that it seems sad that we're talking about this after one of the best performances in years. We should be talking about that. To me, it's disappointing that Scholes and Butt didn't talk about, it was a brilliant performance from United. Martinez had a great game. They could have diffused it, but instead they've added to it. And I think, for me, it should be the end of it now. And maybe the next time Scholes as a pundit on TNT or whatever, Martinez wins a man of the match performance, and he'll be like that together. So that would be fun, wouldn't it? But no, I just think it's sad that we're talking about this, because in the end of it, it's a storm in a teacup, and we should be talking about what brilliant victory Saturday was.
Yeah, but the comments came from the podcast.
Yeah,
comments were on their podcast, right? Which they do. They will ask questions. They come up with it. They're doing the podcast. It's like us. You've got to give different aspects. You can't just be like, I hope Martinez has a good game. You're not going to sit there. You've got to give entertainment value almost for your podcast.
You do, yeah.
But these two are so dry sense of humour. Yeah. It's cutting. And what's wrong with that? I can imagine that this Man United team, if we had the class of 92 playing now, coming through, and someone said, you won't win anything with kids, they'd be going, he's insulted me, HR. Yeah. Whereas ours were driven on by it. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. These guys were criticised all the way through as well on what they did do and didn't do.
Yeah.
And it drove them forward.
It's systemic with journalists.
Don't make mistakes, don't get criticised.
It's systemic with journalists anyway, because you got that moron Jim White on TalkSport who just throws gasoline on everything you can. Ian Dowie was on a podcast and he was asked about Simon Jordan. So what did they do the next day? They played it all so they could, it's all about listeners and ratings and things of that nature. So, I think I'll blow out.
Talk about this Lynx who says Nicky Butt wouldn't get in this United team. You obviously don't realise how good a player Nicky Butt was. The only reason he didn't play for Man United was he couldn't dislodge Paul Scholes, his best mate, or Roy Keane.
He didn't get into the United team.
I did have that. I saw a comment at the start of the video that said
played a lot.
Nicky Butt might be a closet Cis fan. I have heard a rumour actually from years ago that Nicky Butt might have a Man City tattoo. I heard that rumour. I don't know how true it is, but I did hear that rumour.
No. But guys, when it comes to this, all of these ex-players coming out, and I think Marcus is onto something. I think back in the days, they were used to this. This is how you got triggered. You use that energy and put it back on the pitch. And now a lot of these players are taking it back to them on social media. So, maybe they should just, as we started with, shut their mouth and start performing every week, and it'll be quiet out pretty soon. It's just that you can't criticize players for performing. That's for sure. So for me, I think this ex-players thing, we just need to the players just need to start to ignore them. That's the only way to get an end to this. Guys, we have been linked to a new manager again. There's been some links, and there've been new links today about the Serbi, but tonight this also came out. It's the Dortmund guy who's been linked to us, Nico Kovac on the report comes out from Patrick Berger, the ex-Liverpool player. Borussia Dortmund boss Nico Kovac is on Manchester United's shortlist, and there's a strong connection to Christopher Vivell, and United have made inquiries about Kovac's situation, and the Premier League is understood to be an appealing destination for him. So again, could he be the right guy? For me, I felt he never taken Borussia Dortmund to the old heights. I don't rate him as a manager personally, but I don't know. Any of you guys know anything about him? And maybe you do know anything about it because of the Bellingham thing, or no?
Just wouldn't take him. You know what? If you take him, Jarvis, me and you can be on here in 18 months' time. With 1 million subscribers talking about the same old nonsense that we had with Amorim, we had with Erik ten Hag. No point, 0 point. Even if he's a good manager, even if he's a Luis Enrique type manager, he falls into your hipster bracket, me old mate. Don't need it. Stay away from us. do something at Real Madrid, do something at Barcelona, come to Aston Villa, come to Arsenal, come to Brighton, like Ursula, really good example of a young manager. Areola, he's not a million miles. What is he in his 40s, isn't he? Areola, if I'm not mistaken. Young manager, learning his trade in the toughest league, right? Come and do that. Then come to Manchester United. Talk to us then. Don't talk to us now. I don't see the point. He could have won the Bundesliga 4 times. Waste of time. Look how long it took Nagelsmann to transform Germany, and he still hasn't transformed them at all, really. But he's been at Germany, 3 years now? Or something along there, Johnny? You'd know. Is it 3 years?
Yeah,
2
something
years?
like that.
Something like
Might be
that.
longer.
Oh, he was there for the Euros, wasn't he?
That's
And
it. So
he replaced Hansi Flick, didn't he?
Hansi Flick, yeah. I don't think he's close to winning the World Cup, Jarvis. So Nagelsmann is supposed to be a manager of note.
Wasn't Hansi Flick manager at the last World Cup, if I remember rightly?
I think he might, yeah, and I think he then went to Barcelona and he took it on. He's supposed to be the next kind of good manager. The problem is, Jarvis, he left club football.
Yeah.
He had a young age. Nagelsmann's not old, is he, gents? If I'm not mistaken.
No, he's proper. Like, I think he's only a little bit older than Amran. He was started in his 30s.
No, that's what I thought. And he decided that international football was his thing. So do you risk a Nagelsmann at Old Trafford? I don't think you do. Jarvis, sorry, mate. I think he comes into your hipster category. I really do. I know I'm like a broken record, mate. I get it, and I'm sorry. You need a fucking Ancelotti or that type of manager that understands player power, that understands working for morons, because let's face it, Glinios are morons, understands who he's working with, and understands what it takes to win football matches. Now, we've done something right with Steve Holland. A lot of people don't like him, but if you look at his resume and his career, he is an excellent coach. He's been coaching for something like 35 years. He knows his stuff coaching-wise, but he's got labelled, hasn't he, with Gareth Southgate. Who's Gareth Southgate? He's not. He's a brilliant coach. Get somebody in who, Ancelotti's seen the Premier League already. He's seen the biggest jobs in European football. He's taken on the biggest job in world football, taking on Brazil. He's been there, seen it done. You need somebody like him. Can't go for Nagelsmann. Certainly can't go for a Kovac. I think we're just back to square one if we don't. I don't even think De Zerbi's right for us. I think he's too fiery. I don't think the Premier League is too.
One thing on Nagelsmann, Stu. Nagelsmann was obviously Bayern manager. Do you know why he left the Bayern job?
I don't, but
He
ultimately. No, I didn't. No, I know he didn't get sacked. He's obviously
wife couldn't keep her mouth shut, or girlfriend or wife. Big fallout, and he walked from the job, and then no one would touch him because of her. That's why he then didn't have a job, and then he took the international job to clear his name. It's a bit like, what's the one, the striker who plays in Turkey, Italian, whose girlfriend always opens up, or a Rabier with his mum. Very similar circumstances. That's why, but I don't think he's with this girl anymore, and he's been able to settle down and just concentrate on the German, rebuild his manager's career, because being young, he's been foolish.
But he's got to go back to Germany. You step out the German league, you've got to go to Germany. You go to France, you go to Italy, you go to Spain. You don't come to the Premier League.
He's a very top young coach. He's a very, very up there with young coaches, ahead of his time. So I do agree.
He was at club football. He's not anymore. Coming out of the game from club football at that age, to go to National League football, to come back into club football, Manchester United is not the vehicle for him to do it. It just isn't. It can't be.
I would take anyone who was German anyway. I know Klopp broke the system, but their way and their style and speed of play is too slow for the Premier League. That's what I will say. They are really slow. Possession, counter-attack. Possession at the back, and then counter-attack. You watch their games, they're like basketball matches.
Yeah. We need a manager with balls. Big Eric Cantona type balls. Jarvis, you're my pick. I'll come and be your assistant. Absolutely, I'll come and be your assistant. No, but the thing is, when all joking aside here, mate, you would go in and you know Manchester United, you know what you need, what you want, what you're not prepared to deal with, what you're not prepared to put up with. You kind of know all of this. We need somebody who the players will instantly respect. As soon as he walks through the doors, like, fucking hell, Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, me. Okay, I'm going to have to listen to it. That's what I want. There's only 2 or 3 currently that could do that, in my opinion.
Yeah. You spoke well about Ancelotti a lot of times too, and I see also Rashmano. He talking about one guy I mentioned, Marco Silva, Fulham manager. I think he has a pedigree, but the question is he a winner? That's the thing.
I don't think the players would respect him again. But what I will say, someone pointed this as a Liverpool fan at work, pointed this out to me. Do you know who the last few managers who have had a good success and driven the club forward? All ex-players.
Yeah, but
all ex-players.
Yeah, but you're going to fall. We all know this, and Jarvis, hand on heart, you know this as well. You're going to fall into the same Ollie trap. You will.
Yeah. I'm not saying about appointing them, but there's got to be something there.
Yeah, there's got to be something there. Why is it working? You get Ancelotti in. You give Carrick whether he wants to go alongside him or say to him, "Look, I'm bringing in Ancelotti. You've been brilliant this off. Just learn from somebody who knows football globally. Just please learn. We'll give you the reins in 2 years' time. I'll give you a 5-year contract. That's the way forward. No more with this." Yeah.
Take too
much.
Yeah.
Or Tuchel for me.
Yeah, or Tuchel. Yeah, it's a sticky one for me. It just is a big sticky. What do you think, John? Actually, because we've not heard your opinion on this.
Yeah. I would agree there. I think it's a bit lukewarm, all the candidates. I would agree with you, Stu. I think I would absolutely love Ancelotti. Absolutely. I think he's probably the one manager where you get a big personality in, where people respect him automatically. I think it's doubtful we'll get him. When you look at the people who are likely contenders for the job, Tuchel, Pochettino probably. It's mostly people at the Euros, Nagelsmann as well. To me, there's not really anyone who stands out to me at this moment. Tuchel has that personality, I guess, but he's left clubs out under a cloud before, so we'll have to see how Carrick plays, because what I would like to see is a degree of continuation. So it's like Carrick plays this way, hopefully we'll get Champions League or Europe this season, and then you want someone to come in to progress it and take it from there. My issue is whoever we get in the summer, if things go well, which is unlikely, but if things were to go well, I think the manager we get probably won't be the person who wins us the title, And to me, Ancelotti will make the most sense. But I don't think, to be honest, I don't think there's anyone who we're linked with who will particularly make me feel, going in the right direction here.
I tell you what, John, we're not going to get Ancelotti.
No, I know.
Your point, though, absolutely brilliant, and I'm sure Jarvis would have picked up on it as well. But I'll just briefly talk about it.
Yeah.
That our next manager isn't going to win us the league. 100% agree with you, mate. You're the only one that said it. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but you're absolutely right. I don't think he does win us the league, our next manager. No. I think it's going to take 4 years, 5 years. In fact, Jarvis, do you remember in the summer when was it the summer when Amrin came, or was it the one with Ten Hag, when you said to me, Stu, how long do you think it will take? And I said 8 years. Do you remember?
I remember. Yeah.
I said 8 years, didn't I? You asked me the question.
I think you said maybe 8 to 10 years.
Yeah,
something
I did, didn't I?
outrageously long-term thing. Yeah.
And that was about. It was either last year or the year before, wasn't it? And we're nowhere near winning the title.
And we've gone backwards since then, almost. Yeah.
So,
do you know what's so special about Ancelotti?
By the way, I don't think Ancelotti wins us a title. By the way, I'll be clear. It's the stability he brings us. Manchester United, he makes Manchester United a serious club overnight, straight away. Hold on, these guys are serious again.
Stu, that's the point I was just about trying to make.
Sorry.
What you get from Ancelotti is if he tells you that player needs to leave the club, that player needs to leave the club.
He's gone.
So
yes.
that stability, and it'll be another Rangnick thing. We should have listened to Rangnick, but I didn't like it. If you bring in Ancelotti, the godfather of current football, the man that is up there with Alex Ferguson and
the Don. It's a Don. Yes.
All the top managers from
as Jav would do.
If he says it is, it is. Do you know what I mean? If we lose 2-1 and he says we won 5-0, we won 5-0, and the press better go right. It's like that.
Yes, but there's only maybe one or two that Simeone is very similar, isn't he? Simeone walks in, he everybody stands up and takes notice. I think Tuchel to an extent. I don't know if he's looking to get back into it though, Tuchel. I don't know. I can't
maybe Conte. Maybe Conte.
Well,
not maybe the press conference. What he said. I wish I was training with these players every day of the week. That's what he said about the England players. I wish I was back on the grass training every day of the week instead of just having them for training camps. And that's where everyone went. He's looking to get back in. That was a feeler, putting the feelers out there for after the World Cup.
It'll be a very interesting summer because again, in regards to will Arne Slot stay at Liverpool? Will Pep stay at City? Real Madrid are looking for a manager. You could see United will be looking for a new manager. Honestly, I think it was a couple of years ago where we were talking about big clubs looking for big managers. You could be looking at an entirely different situation next season where there's multiple big clubs potentially.
Johnny, just thinking, and Mark made a point right at the beginning of the season, the importance of player recruitment between now and the World Cup. We've got a double jeopardy here because we've got the importance of of management recruitment before the World Cup. It's a big problem for us. Really is a big problem. And my worry is, and I know John is going to give me a big grin here, if Carrick does well and we can't get who we want, Carrick comes in and starts pre-season, that type of thing. I don't know.
And this is where you enter the possibility. If Carrick does well, we get Champions League. Managers we want are at the World Cup. Now, for me, that's not a good situation. You can't really have we tried it with Van Gaal, didn't we? Is it a situation where you might, if Carrick does reasonably well, do you say maybe give him the next season, getting a new one the season after? I don't know.
Johnny, your point. Sorry, I've just completely thought about this. Because we'll be in the qualifying rounds, remember, for the Champions League, won't we?
If you come in fifth, yeah.
Yeah. So when will that start?
Well, that should probably be
early August.
That should probably be August, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's late August. It's already been announced. Those things will be pushed because of the extra 2 weeks the World Cup will run for. So
because it's big. It's a big World Cup, isn't it? So it's a big World Cup. So we're going to have less pre-season. Oh, nightmare season.
I just don't see a situation where this is helpful, and you're gonna have to decide the new manager by April. And to me, it's like we're probably looking at a manager who's at the World Cup, but you can't really agree a deal for a manager at the World Cup in April because it might disrupt their national team.
Yeah.
Or you can make a call and you can make a gentleman's agreement.
I mean, the only manager who is available who could potentially might be Alonso. You know, that's possibly the only one.
John, I know who it. My personal gut feeling tells me that we are going for the Serbi.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah,
and I also, after seeing Carrick's first game, I also feel that it's not. It's kind of similar what Carrick was doing and what the Serbi is doing. You know, we started playing out with the same thing. You know, as I talked about, I showed you the pictures of the Serbi, 2 center backs, up. You know, we had a lot of these same patterns. And for me, you know, a dream would actually be us signing the Serbi, but setting demands that Carrick should be on board as his assistant.
He doesn't want to.
And to keep that's the problem. But I'm just saying, in my dream scenario, that will be one of my having the Serbi coming in, bringing on his full staff, but he has to include Michael Carrick to stay on. And then we will have someone who knows the club, who knows the league, who knows the players, and we can move on. So we don't have to start on scratch every time. And I think it will be a good way to give the Serbi a chance to come into this team. But I don't know how the Serbi would take this, because I think he's quite ruthless when it comes to his coaching staff. And, you know, he will bring in a whole team, 12 of them. So this is how...
I think you're right, Jarvis. I think that the board have got to turn around and say, you must have Michael Carrick or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or whoever as your number 2. And that's it. The end.
And I think that's something we got to... So as a manager, that's where Ruben Amorim failed. He should have had a coach or someone around who knows the club. It goes throughout history at our club. Even Sir Alex Ferguson had Sir Bobby Charlton, Nobby Stiles early on, you know, and then he got Brian Kidd in, you know. Even Sir Alex Ferguson needed that club connection. You know, David Moyes didn't have someone associated with the club. Although I think Giggs wasn't assistant manager.
Yeah, but he was told not to do what he did. He was told, do not get rid of those coaches.
But, right. Van Gaal brought Giggs in. Mourinho didn't initially, but then he got Carrick involved, you know. Then obviously Ten Hag did get McLaren in, you know. But Amorim, you got to have that person, that connection where, you know, I think Wilcox should go, absolutely. But, you know, for the argument, he might stay. I think you need that connection between the manager and someone in between that knows the club, you know. It might be Johnny Evans, it might be Darren Fletcher, it might be someone, but you need someone in there who gets it, you know.
Yeah, but the thing, my point is in this so-called dream scenario is there's no place for the players to hide. If they know already, if the club goes in internally and say, okay, Carrick is staying, you know, he will be here with the next manager. He will be his assistants, because then you will take away all the down tooling and all of this, you know, if things goes really bad, and they have to perform because they know there will be consequences, because this is the risk we take with an interim, because he will have no respect in the locker room, you know, long term. So maybe if Carrick does well, as Rosmano says, I want to see what Carrick does in the next 5 games. It's a very good test. So let's say if you take 12 points in the next 5, you know, 4 wins or something like that. I think
that's a good point.
I think we really should consider this, and also putting pressure on the players.
We can come back to this. I reckon if we're in a good position to get top 4 from the start of April, don't be surprised if they give Carrick the job.
But they give Carrick the job. They down tools.
I don't know whether that happens this time, actually, John. I don't think they'll follow I don't think they'll follow the Ollie. I've got to be careful what I'm saying here because Jarvis might shoot me. No, but I think you know what I mean. I don't think they'll put themselves and put Carrick in the position of God
I agree
the
with
Don
where you're going with this.
that Ollie was put into. I think it was quite reckless what they did to Ollie.
It should also be said that the way I looked at Saturday and when Ollie won all those games against Pep Guardiola,
I know.
Carrick was the coach. So to me,
5 games.
there is that connection, possibly. So I think as much as Ollie did that, I think he relied a lot on Carrick and McKenna. You know, this is what I mean. When we went on all these runs and that, I think Carrick and McKenna were also responsible for that as well. You know, yeah.
I just wanted to say about the whole Carrick staying. Again, the World Cup plays a big thing here. If you're looking at a manager with the World Cup, Michael Carrick finishes in May. The World Cup starts in July, or is it still June? I can't remember how they've changed it. Is it later?
They finished June. I think it's July 14.
Early. Yeah. It's early, isn't it?
But he is going to be looking for his full-time job. So the announcement has to be done before the end of the season. As Stu, as you just alluded to, you then got one hand on the wheel and everyone starts panicking, fans-wise and player-wise. I get where Jarvis is trying to phrase the question. That means that you can't fuck around for me. It's like your kids. Your mum's been back in a minute. You know, I'm going to tell her because I'm still here. I can tell her. And that's what Carrick will have. But at the same time, if you've got to look at the style of football that maybe Carrick's playing, if he's just going steady the ship kind of football, get in compact, be hard to beat, and then the manager comes in and says, I want to be expansive and I want to count, pretty football because I've seen they're capable of doing it now. All of a sudden, they can play one-touch passing. Then he's going to go, well, your style of football doesn't suit me. There's another way of looking at it. You can't tell the manager coming in that he's got to have someone. I'll tell you who they will say, Steve Holland, please stay, because it was Steve Holland who's a defensive
we did this with Van Gaal. We did this with Van Gaal. Ryan Giggs was with Van Gaal. You know, we didn't give him a choice. This is how a big club moves. It's our best interest. You know, it's not about the best of the manager. It's the club's best interest.
It should also.
If we want the longevity, we want someone on board learning every day from a great mind. And because we can't start always get in this position as we did with Amorim and as we did with Ten Hag and as we did with Ole and as we did with Mourinho. Always. When it goes wrong, we are standing. What are we going to do now? We have no plan. And I think
you're phrasing the question about someone who didn't have a job. They'd never coach. They'd never manage. Carrick has been at a club. He's managed. He wants to be a manager. He has experience.
Yeah. Okay. I get your point. Yeah.
Everyone you're saying hadn't done it up until that point. So if you're going to do it, that's Johnny Evans then.
Well, I think we should go for Carrick. We should try to persuade him. We should try to tell him you are the next guy, but you need more years. You need more experience.
Totally agree.
You have a trial now, and then you wait it out 2-3 years until the next time, and then you're ready. For me, I think that will be the most. Third
time lucky then?
Yeah.
Well, but Carrick's got to decide actually. Let's put it this way. Carrick's got to decide what he wants out of management. Do you want to manage the biggest club in world football, or do you want to risk ruining your reputation in 2, 3, 4 years down the line because you can't seem to get a break, and you'll never see the Manchester United job again? I mean, those are his choices. They really are that black and white. I agree with Jarvis. If it is deserving, Carrick has to be his number 2. If it's Ancelotti, which I would love, Carrick has got to be his number 2. Or I'd go so far to say is Kieran McKenna is his number 2. But I'm a manager.
I mean, hypothetically, Stu, I was thinking about this. It's not going to happen, but imagine you get Ancelotti in and have Carrick as his assistant.
Dream.
2 years,
And
and
Holland.
then you can maybe say, right, Ancelotti, you come in for 2 years, you do a job. Your role is also to try and mold Carrick to maybe take over in 2 years' time once he's developed that bit more experience. Now, that for me might be a hypothetical. It's unlikely to happen, but that would be something I'd look at and think, that might be interesting, actually. You know.
Yeah. John, would you get Ali Anderson with Ancelotti at the helm?
Yeah, I think there's a possibility. Because he knows what Ancelotti does brilliantly. It's like you look at Real Madrid and the big personality. It's almost like, if you think about it, it's amazing how much success Real Madrid have because they run. Player power is just so extreme there when you think about it. And Ancelotti, how he managed all those egos and everything to take them Champions League titles and La Liga titles. I mean, my goodness, I don't think. I mean, Zidane did manage it as well, but I don't think there's anyone more suited to that kind of thing. So so for me, he won't come. But
no, he won't. No, he won't.
I think it's definitely something that would be my favoured route if we had the brains to do it.
You can imagine him. Ancelotti's been in a day, and he turns around and he says, "Well, Wilcox has got to go. That's your gone. I don't want you any near me. Leave me alone."
Guys, this actually Das comes in and say Wharton could be Ancelotti's Toni Kroos, but not only that, I think Wharton could actually fit perfectly into this Carrick team, playing as the deep lying playmaker because of his passing range. I think even he would fit better than a player like Elliot Anderson in this Carrick system for me. But
I honestly think, I know I said whoever we get in won't win us the league. Ancelotti is probably the only one. If we were to get Champions League this season, Ancelotti is probably the only manager you can get where you can see us winning the league according to their target potentially. He's probably the only one who could do it, but it won't happen anyway. So
no. It's been an interesting debate. We will have this. I bet you at least 20 more times before the end of the season, talking about the next manager coming in and how to solve this. Well, it's been very interesting. But guys, I wanna cover something because I saw an interesting tweet from the Swedish Rumble. It's an interesting one, and it's there's this legal idea that in sport you consent to a certain level of a, let's say, a physical risk. With like tackles come in the game, you have collisions, you get injured, and all of this. So most things happen on the football pitch won't ever become a criminal offense, even if they look nasty, because they seem as part of the game. But the key point is, and this only applies up to a limit, if the act is serious enough, like a clearly intentional, violent act, way off football or something that goes on beyond football in normal acceptance, then it stops being sport and it becomes a criminal matter. So for me, where should we draw the line? This is the question, and I wanna show you one clip that was on the Swedish Rumble's tweet, and I think it's an ugly one. So if you don't want to see ugly, violent things, look away for the next 20 seconds.
I saw this.
Look at this player. So look at this, guys. It's terrible. He just elbows him right in the throat. And it has nothing to do. Let's just see it one more time because I think it's worth it. And for me, as a former footballer, I know how the game is sometimes. It's very rough, but as I said in the beginning, it's something that you sign up for when you are in sport. But where do we draw the line, and what do we do in instances like this? Is it up to football to solve this, or is it up to the law?
No, the police will get involved in that. The police will get involved in that. That'll be assault, and he'll get done for battery, assault and battery. Simple as that.
And literally that kind of thing, he could be knocked out unconscious there.
Yeah, simple
Easily.
as that.
You know, like he could cut off his air supply or whatever. That's assault. You could even go as far as saying potential manslaughter. It's that serious, that kind of a
guy was a pussy anyway. Ran off.
So if it's like it's more than endangering an opponent. If you're potentially doing something which could put someone in hospital or need medical treatment, that's a legal matter more than a football issue.
It's assault anyway.
I actually had this last season. I had this last season with our under-18s. Well, I won't mention obviously any names for obvious reasons with clubs. But basically, their captain had been sent off, got changed right near the end of the game. It was a boiling point. Poor refereeing as always. Not as normal games would get to boiling point. Didn't deal with it early. Punch up starts. This player's walking back, jumps the barrier and sucker punches one of our players from behind. Then we find out he does boxing. Now, when I grew up, I used to do boxing. So if you're actually amateur carded, you're registered as a weapon.
It's a weapon, yeah. Can't do it.
But again, guess what? FA did nothing about it, even though it was in the ref's report. It did not go to the police. So the only way action could have been taken was from our VO footage. So the FA do not want to know because they become liable.
But we had a
player.
player.
The referee is acting on behalf of a corporation, if you like. And
therefore,
if he does something like that, he becomes liable by
we had a player before Christmas, headbutted an opponent, and they took action. The police are involved. He got 180 days community service. He broke the guy's nose. I thought it was quite funny, actually. Because
one of my old coaches, Stu, he owns a football club. He's a coach, but he owns a football club as well. Their men's team playing a match, and Stu would have had this a lot, and Stu is probably his player, but not like this. Goading through the pitch. I'll see you after the match. See you after the match.
All the time,
Yeah. The other fact,
still giving it all. Gets hit, sues the guy for GBH.
Oh no!
He folded the men's team to protect the club.
Plus the context, I'm not trying to defend the guy here. It was horrible, and he should be reprimanded for it. What if he's only done that because that player said something really offensive to him?
Yeah, only pussies do that though, John.
No. I agree. I agree. But
you can see it's a clear sucker punch. Nothing was expected. If you're giving it some, you're expecting something. Or at least in my experience of football, if you're talking and you're talking crap, you're gonna get whacked.
Oh yes.
Or as the saying goes in England, talk shit, get banged.
Yeah.
But we have seen instances like this. We saw it even in the World Cup final. Zidane headbutting Maserati. We have seen other similar. But I'm just gonna show you some examples because we have this one. We all remember this one. That was a pure revenge tackle. How do we feel about something like this? Or you also have the incidents that happened at Sellers Park many years ago.
Yeah. I was there. I was on the other side.
Was I?
So there are instances with profile players in big games that we also see this, but we never hear about police reports. This is from the lower leagues. By the way, I gotta give a shout to
on Cantona.
Yeah. Interestingly, that
people are just gonna give I gotta give a shout to Thomas Ifan, who this tweet is from with this incident with the elbow, because I need to credit him on the footage. But there are instances like this, and we almost never hear about legal action afterwards. And where is the gray? Because there's a gray area, and where do we put where do we set the line? That's my my question.
Do you remember USA 94? Pretty sure it was USA 94. Leonardo smashed Tab Ramos with his elbow, broke his cheekbone. Do you remember? Brazil versus America. And Kevin Keegan said, "Oh, it wasn't that bad." And then when you look at Ramos, his whole face is caved in. He got away with it to an extent, but then later he was sued criminally. Ramos took him out. Cantona, we know, they had no choice. The police, they had to arrest him and they had to charge him. And
John Fashanu was done, wasn't he, as well?
Not Perryman, Mabbott, Gary Mabbott's ice hockey.
Yeah, there's been so many. Jarvis, the problem is we might hear about it, you might not. Do you see what I mean?
No, well,
it'll be a little section like that in the bottom of a paper back in the day, wouldn't it, Stu? Oh, by the way, the police are looking into this, investigation ongoing, and then there'll be another story about United. And it didn't happen to a Man United player, with the exception of Roy Keane and Cantona. But the Wimbledon were doing this day in, day out. Do you remember the other week we spoke about Finney Jones beating up his neighbour?
Finney Jones, terrible. Yeah, terrible.
Yeah. Settled outside the court. Everything's settled outside the court. So therefore, that's why you don't hear of it. They just go, you're going to have to pay him off. It's that simple.
He'd have got done, that kid. That lad who did that would have got done.
Yeah, but he's not a professional footballer.
No, but he would have got done. Yeah.
So it's wrong, but I went back after my knee op to try and play like with mates on a Saturday afternoon. Right, this is my experience recently in the last 10 years, and I know that there's a mass decline in England of our Saturday football teams. I'm talking park football here, Stu. So you probably understand this because the level of county football has dropped, the standard wise, because they can't play in a park. But I went and helped my mate's team out, and the other team, some of their players were off their nut on drugs, trying to play football. That is fact, because the ref stopped the game because the guy trying to start a punch up, and his pupils are so small, you can tell, and you can tell, and that's what it's turned into. So that doesn't surprise me. That's probably a hungover bloke, said something to him, reacted, probably still drunk from the night before, Sunday league football. In the UK, that is not uncommon. That's coming from a coach who we have to look at this stuff constantly. We try and have kids' games next to these kind of matches going on in a park. So it should be dealt with, but the police don't deal with anything in the UK.
No, agreed.
No, they don't.
Probably, and in regards to the Cantona incident, I think that Palace supporter did go to court for the reason of he provoked Cantona, and I think he had to be. There was,
he was fined, I think.
He was, and probably the most ugly incident I've ever seen was that German goalkeeper on the French striker,
Ralph Schumacher against Pakistan.
I mean, did anything happen there, or was
Tony Schumacher?
Tony Schumacher, yeah.
Did anything happen after that incident?
No, he got away with that, didn't he?
No.
Yeah, he
Well,
got away with
talking
it.
of ones that got away, how about Lee Bowyer and Jonathan Woodgate
Yeah.
chasing the student down the road on camera in a fight? Look where that got him.
Manchester United.
That wasn't on the football pitch. I'm just saying on the pitch.
But it was on camera.
I think that the rule is something like, if it's in play, if the ball is close, if it's something that has actually to do with the game, let's say like the Roy Keane tackle, it was malice, he did it for revenge, but again, it was in play, then it's no matter for the law. But as we saw in the first instance with the elbow, and fun fact from Stephanie, elbow actually is Spanish, it's called weapon in Spanish. So nice, thank you for that fun fact. But if it's something like that, when the ball is not in play, when it has nothing to do with the game, then it's a legal matter, and the police should be involved. I think this is where the distinction lies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you're right.
It's the same in any sport, isn't it? What about boxing? Hitting after the bell. It's an instant disqualification 9 times out of 10.
Cheers.
But that seems to have stopped recently, and now there's been more punches thrown after the bell. So when you go through sports, Jarvis, again, this is a bit like the refereeing rugby compared to the refereeing football. Look at the discipline and the respect in one sport, and then look at someone who can't make his own decisions.
Yeah. Stu is tired. I hear him yawning. Big up, Stu.
I've had a busy day. I was up at 5 this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
Me too. I have one more topic, and then we can do a quick Q&A. The last topic is on transfers, because this came out the other day, and it's all about Carrick and Man United. Just in Manchester United will hold an internal meeting this week that will include Michael Carrick to discuss what they want to do in the market from now until the end of January. It came from none other than Fabrizio Romano. So my question to you guys is, and I will ask a question in the poll, do you really think we will sign any players in January? Who should it be? And my final question, who is this mystery midfielder that we are looking at? John, you can go first.
We've decided that the transfer window is open now. Mystery midfielder, I have absolutely no idea. I don't think it's particularly true, that story, but you're crying out for the midfielder, aren't we? So, if you're looking at someone to come in, if you're looking at Belay, clearly we were looking at Semenyo, so clearly there is some money there, you would think, I think it's unlikely, but it's that kind of thing. In terms of option, probably the best person available is probably Ruben Neves, isn't it? Possibly. Yeah. So I wouldn't mind getting him in personally. I've always rated him, so I think he will solve some of our midfield issues. So he's probably the best available that I will personally go with.
Well, we know that according to Ben Jacobs that he played in the Premier League. Well, he's not playing in the Premier League at the moment. So this is the hints we have on the mystery guy. I heard some rumors today about Joby Bellingham, for example, could be the guy that we are looking at.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything?
Unlikely, because his old man's just moved out to Germany, so unlikely.
As far as I'm aware, neither Bellingham's ever played in the Premier League, so that rules him out.
Oh,
I think it's Douglas Luiz. I think we're looking at Douglas Luiz. That's who I think it is.
Well, I know.
Did he go? Who were Forest signed? Didn't they sign someone? I thought he went to Forest. Sorry.
Did he go to Forest?
I'm pretty sure I saw him.
He plays in the Premier League at Forest.
Yeah.
He did go to Forest, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not in the Premier League, is it? I thought
part of the split up with his missus.
About that. Yeah.
He's on loan at Forest. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot he went to Forest. Yeah. So I thought it would be Douglas Luiz. So I didn't realise. How the hell did Forest get him then?
So do you want to know who it is?
Go on.
Right. So first off, I'm going to say the story is absolute rubbish because I don't agree with it. It's just I've learned a lot about media from Stu. And when you say nothing, it's because you have nothing. So mystery midfielder is their way of saying Man United need a midfielder and I don't have a name, so I'm going to call it a secret midfielder. But the secret midfielder is Paul Pogba.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
Played in the Premier League, back full fit. And he loves to return to United, being paid for, but we get rid of him for nothing. It's a done deal. Paul Pogba guy.
I don't know. Have you played the game the last 3 years? He's been injured a lot.
Well, they said that he's
suspended for enhancement performing drugs.
Yeah.
Do you know, that's a real killer.
I'm pretty sure it was spiked to get him off their books. Yeah. I will put my hands up and say that Italian clubs, a little bit renowned for it.
I completely forgot Louise went to Forest. I mean, why the hell did he slip under the radar of us and,
He was
teams
linked
that
to us.
really needed him? That's what
He
I
was
mean.
linked to us at the beginning of the season, but he was having a big Barney with
Alicia,
the female
whatever her name
footballer,
is.
who is ex now.
Yeah.
Now play for Juventus. She's playing for Juventus women. He was playing for Juventus thing.
Yeah.
He came back. We never pulled the trigger on him. Because
What
we
an
were
idiot.
dragging
Apparently, she's now linked to a return.
She's coming back to Leicester
USL now.
because they got back
Yeah.
together, didn't they?
Alicia
Didn't they get back together?
Leicester, yeah.
Yeah, we were linked and we couldn't pull the trigger. But Labour, as far as I'm aware, no contact, no nothing from what I've heard. So there's still no movement on Labour. It's still just chucking out the same names, regurgitation of old news. Who would do that in the British media?
Yeah, I mean, like, I did see somebody that was banging on about Casado from Barcelona because he was at Chelsea when he was, I don't know. I heard that. I quite like Casado, actually. He'd be a ball carrier, ball holder. I do quite like him, but I'm not buying that one. I don't know.
I mean, I'd be interested if Carrick's going to discuss with the family, with Wilcox and that. Is there a possibility we look at Hackney possibly?
Yeah.
I don't know whether Borough.
It's not a fraud.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying he's the player we're looking at, but is it he potentially named Carrick and the club will discuss in these apparent meetings?
No chance.
Are we looking at player A, or could we go for Hackney, who would be a cheaper option? Very similar profile or something like that. So
there's no way Hackney's coming anyway in the summer in January. They're likely to get promoted or play off at least, aren't they? The way they're going.
They're second, aren't they? So.
Yeah, so that's just not going to happen.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room then. We've got an interim manager who is going to have conversations about buying players with our director of football. Our director of football has already said he basically picks the players and the manager plays them. So why does there need to be a conversation? Because Pavel and Wilcox can't even agree because they like different styles of players. It's the most stupidest conversation to say that they're going to have, because it's like us agreeing on which one central midfielder we can buy one. We probably all look at Anderson, right? Interesting.
Yeah.
He's on a free in the summer though, so you wouldn't be buying it now. You could loan with an option, but he comes in the summer, or you could do a pre-contract agreement, but he's free in the summer.
Yeah, but did Angel Gomez play in the Premier League though?
He made his debut for us, didn't he?
Yeah. But is it? But I would think, mate, they're looking at a player who has experience in the Premier League rather than made one or two appearances.
Talking about age, they were talking about age, weren't they? They were saying apparently the one that we were looking at, or whoever it is outside the age bracket.
I think the best one, Jarvis going to love this. It's Garner.
He is. Yeah. He was superb yesterday, by the way.
I did hear originally there was a buyback clause, but I think that probably has expired because he's probably signed a new deal at Everton since then. And that when they signed that new deal, that buyback clause hasn't been triggered, so therefore it goes.
That was that goal by Barry. It was the third best goal this weekend after Dogu and Blumo.
He is as prolific as me in front of goal, which is poor, but fuck me, he can play up front. He knows how to play up front. Do you know, I watched, I took my little nephew to Wolves Newcastle yesterday, and the Newcastle game was was horrible. The whole game was horrible, but that Wolves centre forward, that Tonu, the way that he won everything, he bullied three central defenders.
Barry.
Tonu bashed the crap out of us.
Yeah, he was a Barry type player, Jarvis. Didn't score, but my God, he held the ball up and he got Wolves up the pitch. You can see why Wolves have suddenly turned the corner.
I think they were a bit unlucky before they played up, because a lot of the games where they kept losing every week, but they were losing it by goal line. They were unlucky at Arsenal with 2 own goals, weren't they? They were just that. They do. I mean, it's like one of those. Maybe they're now getting the reward for their performances, whereas before they were losing games which perhaps on paper they shouldn't have lost with their overall performance. So now maybe they're getting their rewards now.
Well, look, if they stay up, fair play. I mean, you got to doff your cap, haven't you? But
I think that would be something you haven't seen since the 90s. Do you remember when Oldham stayed up?
Yes.
That was one of the miracle. They escaped jail. I think they won 8 out of the last 10 or something. And
it'd be akin to that, mate.
I think the potential there is Palace. Absolute capitulation from Palace's season now with what's happened this week. That's the thing that could get Wolves out and Palace drop down.
Yeah, and also Forest being in Europe.
Yeah.
When people are putting names up, just remember we're not allowed to sign anyone over the age of 27.
No, we can't. That's not allowed in the modern day.
The new club rule, isn't it? So,
apparently so. I think for a short-term loan, I don't think it matters. I think
loan. Yeah, if it's a loan deal, then obviously that rules out the window, right? But if it's a signing,
how old is Angel Gomez now? Is he?
Oh, he's 24, 25.
Yeah, he's young. He left at like 18, 19, didn't he? So
yeah, something like that. 24, 25.
He's a year above Kobbie and Mainoo.
That's it, guys.
He's moved. That's the end of the debate.
The main man has moved.
Where's my Chinese?
I moved Stu over to the main seat.
He's moved.
And you know what it is? What time it is?
It's Q&A time.
Q&A time.
Roll up, and welcome to Q&A time. About 15 minutes worth of Q&A. We do have some questions. Please get them in. Jarvis will start looking and starring. Got a good panel tonight. I'm going to start off with a question from Danny B. And Danny B says, Johnny, you can start with this. Why do people rate Poch? Because I'm confused about that.
I think when you look at what he did at Tottenham compared to every other manager that's been at Tottenham in the last 20 years or something, he did make them competitive, even though they didn't actually win anything with him. I think something about is he tends to win a lot of games without actually winning the big things. So it's one of those where you win like 24, 25 matches in a season, but then wasn't there that season at Tottenham where they only drew 2, and it's like they lost a third of their games, but they won almost 2/3 of their games, and that got them in the top 4. So Poch does have the ability to make a team competitive. He does, when you look at the way he used Son and Kane during the days at Tottenham, he did get that partnership to it. So I do think he is a manager who potentially raises the game of his players, and he does have the ability to manage squads well. I think Chelsea were stupid to get rid of him when they did, because clearly while he had a bad start, he does get team to a certain level. Now, it depends what aspirations you have. So he's actually someone who can, do a job to a point. I think maybe now at this moment he might be the best manager that suits us, because I don't think he's the type to win us the league, but he is potentially a manager who gets in the top 4 consecutive seasons, potentially. So he's that type of manager where he'll take you to a certain level where you get to a point and then you just need something the next level. So for me, that's why I think Pochettino is rated by a lot of people.
Okay. Danny B, hope that answers your question. I've got a load of questions to go through, guys, so we'll run individual questions rather than collective, unless I say collective. We'll do that one later because it's quite a good one. We've kind of Jarvis, I'll let you pick up on this, but we've already kind of touched on it.
Yeah, we talked about it, but big up the Premier coming in and say what Carrick.
But I will let you touch on it.
Yeah, we can just answer it quickly. But for me, what if he is the answer? We will know. As I said when we talked about it, I will assess. Let's say I will give him the next 5 games, and then we can start being serious about the debate. Should Carrick be in the role? He could be the answer. He could be the one. He could be Neo. He could be the guy who comes back and saves us all. But what's the probability that Carrick is the one?
What's Neo?
The Matrix.
Oh, the one. Is he at the Matrix film? Is he?
Yes, it's Neo.
I'm sorry, I'm not a Matrix film fan. I apologise. So
Stu's not plugged in, Jarvis. He's not going to get
that. Sorry.
Skywalker, the guy who gets balanced before the last Jedi.
Yes. I can live with Luke Skywalker. I can live with Luke Skywalker. Yeah.
But we don't know yet. Well, it's a good question, the Primate, and I don't have any answers when it comes to this. But it's a good question. Yeah.
Okay. Mark, Jamie's asked a similar question, but a different version of that question. It's Jamie in his brilliant way he speaks. Which dumbass is going to want the job? Anyone want to answer? Mark, what do you think?
It's the hardest question to answer, isn't it? Because you either want the job because you know you're going to get paid. You want the job because you want Man United to succeed. But who wants to take a job when you can't trust the players? So at the moment, the players have got to prove that they can be trusted for us to get a decent coach. So I think the obvious ones are people like Ancelotti. It's not going to because it's not going to hamper his name. So if you've got a big enough name, you can take the Man United job and it's not going to affect it. And they're the only ones who are going to want the job because they want it, because they're like, even if I fail, I'm still going to be a quality manager.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
He was the name on everyone's tongue when we got him in. The successor to Pep, the successor to this, the successor to that. We get him in, and now he's being talked about like he's a rubbish coach. But yet we've seen the players run around like absolute machines 3 weeks after he's left.
Haven't we just? Jamie, that answers your question. Helga sent me a quick one. He says, question to Stu. Let's say we get Ancelotti. The issue would be convincing players to come. How would we contact him when the World Cup is? What happens at United between Carrick and Ancelotti 1st of June? My ideal scenario, Helga, is that we are already talking to him now because we're way far away from the World Cup to have meetings and conversations. I did say that I would like a Carrick or a Kieran McKenna as a number 2, but that person would be a successor, a guaranteed 100% successor after 2 years. Learn from him. Ancelotti would be able to get the players that we want. He would easily convince players, no problem whatsoever, Helge. And the type of players we would like, he would only get what we call Manchester United footballers. And Jarvis made the point, in fact, both myself and Jarvis made the point that Shea Lacey is a Manchester United player. Get on that pitch, don't fuck about, and just play football. And that's what he does. Ancelotti would do that. Well, I agree the timescales are very, very tight. but we must have a manager in for player acquisition. If we don't have a manager in before the World Cup, as Mark has pointed out, and player acquisition goes out the window, maybe you keep Carrick till
there is a way around it. If you know he's coming in and you have that,
if you know he's coming in, yeah.
He gives you a shopping list. You go after those players, and then there's conversations have been had in private. So that has happened. There are plenty of clubs who have done that. Manager turns up, and within a couple of days, there's a few names coming through the door. And I believe that was Ancelotti at Everton, was it not? With Rodriguez.
It was indeed. So fingers crossed. It's Ancelotti. Helga, brilliant question, by the way. Really, great question. Thank you for that. We've got some funny questions, which we'll do a little bit later, and there's some good ones as well.
I'll get that one off.
With Steve Holland coming in, is he having a look at the lay of the land before? Are we all in agreement? That's a no, lads.
Yeah.
I'll ban that from my chat.
Okay. What do you think, mate? Do you think is that a no or?
No one's okay, 100%. But Steve Holland, yeah, maybe.
I think Steve Holland stays. I think he's a brilliant coach. I think he stays. Trev, I understand the question, by the way. I do get the link, and it's a good question, but no, we agree.
It could be Conte coming in then, because he learned from Conte.
Trev's got a question for you. Can Mark explain why he hasn't shaven off the month block yet? And does he want to be in ZZ top?
It hasn't come off because I'm just too busy yesterday. And because I said on my post match, next time you'll see me, it'll be off. I was talking about on my own channel, not on here. So yeah, doing it tomorrow. But
okay.
In general, not enough time today. I've also just before this got back from boot camp with the missus. So
fair enough. Well, it's always tough. Boot camp in January is always tough. Johnny, thanks for that, Trev. Johnny, got a question for you. It doesn't say John in front, but we'll say question for John. Have United got an option or an obligation to do deadline day? Love that question because I hate deadline day personally.
I do.
Great question.
I'm trying to think of. I mean, usually we do in the August. I don't think it's normal. I mean, the only players I mean, we got Igalo deadline day, didn't we? And Sabitzer, if I remember rightly. I wouldn't rule it out us getting a loan on deadline day potentially. So
Weghorst.
Oh yeah, no. I think Weghorst was before deadline day. I think it was
the day before.
we got Sabitzer the last day deadline day because Ericsson got injured thanks to Andy Carroll, didn't he? So
yes,
so we had to do something quick when we got Sabitzer in on the deadline day, and we all know about Igalo. So Weghorst came early in the month, I think. So I think I will lean more towards the option, but I won't rule it out was doing something deadline day like a loan or something. Maybe it's just something will become available.
Our biggest deadline day that I can remember is Berbatov, if we remember.
And Rooney.
Well, we got Berbatov over City though, didn't we, that day?
Yeah.
Stole him, didn't we?
But just remember, deadline day is a negotiation minefield. You can get them for the cheapest and you can get them for the most expensive price.
You shouldn't be doing anything on deadline day anyway. It's just dumb.
No,
was Ronaldo deadline day the second time, or was he just a day or two?
No, it was before the season, wasn't it?
He was before.
No. The second.
It was before deadline. It was before deadline.
Yeah.
Jarvis.
It was done for launch of kit. That's how I know, because he sold the new record for shirts sold in a day on the launch.
Yes. Right, guys. We've got to get through these questions. So, Jarvis, because he's going to get the gong. Why do people believe we are signing someone, or is it just hope? That's a good question, that as well. I like that question. That's a better phrase. Question.
Hope kills you.
Big up, Jamie, and thanks for that question. I have to say, looking at the poll, I put out a poll. Do you believe we will sign players in January? And only 24% of you said yes, and 76% of you said no. So I think we have been hurt so many times. We have stopped believing in this club, especially when it comes to the leadership and the guys running the circus. So no, I don't think we will sign anyone, and I think it's just pure hope, just trying to cope with everything. So that's my answer. But it's a good question, Jamie.
Yeah, very good question. What else have we got? Trev says, did you sing Fog on the Tyne while watching Newcastle yesterday? No, but I did see quite a few idiots with no shirts on, and it was pissing down with rain. So I thought that was quite interesting. Jarvis, one for you from the United Lens, and he says, I have a question. Where's the striker chat I was promised?
Yeah, it's all about time. Sorry, Mark. We have to save this for another time. But it's a brilliant question. And I actually had prepared a lot of these graphs. Forwards are scoring at a very low rate this season. There are some factual stuff behind this. So I think we need to save this for another time. But definitely we will have the striker debate, and I have prepared for it. So I'm so sorry, guys, that we didn't have time to do it. That's the thing.
Can I just say something quickly?
Yes.
Erling Haaland has only scored 1 in 7, which is a penalty. So if he's struggling, says a lot.
Yeah, but Johnny, how many has he scored before that?
True.
If
he's struggling to score in this period, then
Yes. Quick question. You've got 30 seconds, no more each on this one. I love these questions. Joyce, will start with you. If you had to design your ideal United kit, what colour and design would it be it home, away, or third? So, Jarvis, we will give you home. Mark, you will get the away, and Johnny, you will get the third kit. I'll get the goalkeeper. I'll get the goalkeeper shirt.
All right.
Yeah, 30 seconds each. Go.
That's a brilliant question, but I would go retro. I would go back to the 80s. I would go to the Sharp, the Adidas thing. I would go plain and back to the roots. So something along the lines of Man United home shirt, 85, 86, 87 type of style of shirt, because that was my when I was on top.
So you're thinking plain-ish.
Yeah,
plainish. Oh, that's exactly where I would have gone, my old mate, with home. I've got to be honest.
And I would change the crest back to Manchester United Football Club, by the way, and made a big deal out of it, and actually go out and say to the people, we are a football club again.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mark, 30 seconds. Shoot.
I would go back to the green and gold shirt behind Jarvis.
Oh no! That was the third kit, by the way, Mark. That wasn't the away.
Was it?
Third kit that season. Because don't forget, didn't we have black? We had the black, didn't we, as our main away kit, and then
but black's now currently our third kit.
Yeah.
Because white's our away kit, so it changes depending on the year. So, all right, then.
No. You've chosen.
I would go green and gold. I would go central logo of the devil that is used on our third kits currently, because I think that just looks amazing on the right kit thing. V-neck, collar, simple, and I would have the sponsor split green and gold, so it doesn't show. Nice. So it just looks like a green and gold shirt. The sponsor's on there, but it doesn't show it. And if you look at some of these all black kits, all white kits, I think they look so classy like that.
Yeah. Right. And Mark, get rid of the Glazers, get rid of Ineos, and bring that out as a kit.
Yeah. And then I'll definitely make my way in the world. That's my new design for Adidas.
Goalkeeping shirts, I would go same as Jarvis. I'll go very, very plain. And my favourite one was Alex Stepney when he had the blue goalkeeping top with the white shorts. So to go with Jarvis's kit, I would go with the plain blue goalkeeping shirt with the sponsor, the logo, and the trefoil, which it would be. And yes, that would be it for me. I love that question. I love questions like this. Trev, fantastic question. Put your kits either in the post. I was going to say post-match comments.
Stu, I'm really disappointed. Where's the white roll-up third collar?
Yeah, well,
you know,
I'm not quite that
as
old.
a kid.
Yes,
It's
I'm
the
not
worst
quite
thing.
that old. I'm not quite that old. But anyway, that's what I would do. I absolutely love that. Trev also says, and I can answer this one because I'm probably better equipped.
I didn't say my kit, Stu.
I'm sorry, I thought you did. I thought you just said the
No.
Glazers.
No, he didn't.
No. Wait.
Oh, sorry, quickly.
Yeah,
quickly.
I thought mine was that good.
Right. Right, Stu. I'm going to be creative here.
Go
get
on.
a white shirt with a lace collar, like the early 90s,
Yes.
but with Adidas stripe from the late 70s kit down there.
Oh, Johnny K. Johnny K. Oh,
That's what I would do.
What, the block?
Yeah. So the stripe.
Oh, Johnny, stop it. I'm in
That's the
crisis.
Newcastle have just brought that back as their training kit with the thingy. They've got it as when they do a flashback thing. They've just brought that back.
No, Johnny's talking about the 70s, 78, 78.
Yeah.
Oh, where it comes down there.
With the Adidas stripes here.
Oh, damn. Johnny, get off. You're gone. Stop it. You can't be doing that. You can't come on here and design that. Oh, yes, okay. Johnny
Technically, he hasn't designed it. Technically, he's just re-released it.
I just had to
Is it something like this? Are you going for something like this?
Yeah, something like that, but with a bit of a lace collar and like the early 90s and everything. So,
Johnny, is this your mock-up? Have you done this before? Was this a setup?
No. I just literally thought of it this moment.
That's like porn. That's like porn. That is. I can't take it anymore. I'm finished. I'm done. I love that strip. Johnny K, you win that round. I'm afraid Jarvis was well in the lead.
Yeah,
but yes, we Johnny K.
Thank you. Sorry, I just had to go with combined
green
designs.
and gold glazers.
Didn't actually exist.
Green and gold is good, but that I'm drooling. I'm drooling.
We have to have a white kit. We have to.
Yes.
I love our black
says,
I live
Trev
in our
says, is football today driven by snowflakes on or off the pitch or both? Both. Simple as. Nothing more to add, Trev. They're all a bunch of pansies.
Yeah.
Okay, what have we got? We've got a few questions to go. Jarvis.
Yes.
One for you.
Don't give me the difficult ones.
I'm going to give you a nice one.
Thank you.
And actually, you mentioned this the other day. So, yes. Do you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be sporting director and Carrick the manager? They've proved to work together well.
Yeah, 100%. I think it could be possible, but they need backing, and unfortunately, we have to rely on the Muppets who's running the show. So it's always like this. But I think they both are footballing people. They know what they're doing. They have been around the block. They know Man United's soul and DNA, as a lot of people like to call it. Would we succeed? Maybe.
Well, Ollie did find a lot of good players. He suggested before he was manager, and we didn't buy them.
That's the thing. So it might would have worked, but for me, it's a yes. But I would have dreaded all the criticism that we would have gotten from the Ollie out brigade, because they have chosen a corner and they are ready to fight in that corner, and whatever Ollie and Carrick and all of these guys brings, they will always be negative. And for me, I think that's a problem. This is a very loud minority of the fan base, I have to say.
Jarvis, that's why I said earlier, our success has come from ex-Man United players in charge. It goes wrong because we make the wrong decisions as a club. But when you look at their games played, there's got to be something in it. So there is truth here. Manchester United, you've got to keep it in-house, percentage-wise. Like, you can have the outside managers, but you've got a percentage in-house.
Okay, 3 questions to go. Bit of fun. Trev always comes up with some. Him and Bilal always come up with some really good ones. I've got a Bilal one to the very end. And the question is, if you four was in a band or a band in another life, who would be the lead singer, the drummer, the guitarist, and backing vocalist? For me, Jarvis has to be lead singer. He's Rick Astley in disguise.
Morton Harkett, Jarvis, Cocker, you name it.
There's only one drummer in the band, and that's yours truly.
That's not true. There are some bands who have 2 drummers.
Yeah, but I'm the only drummer on this. I mean, I can't drum for Toffee, okay? But let's just be clear. But I do have a drum kit, and Jarvis has a guitar, by the way.
I'm surprised Trevor hasn't gone with a bass player there, though.
Well, that's you, though.
Yeah, backing vocal.
And actually, we have some.
I've never played the bass, but be like, do you play any instrument, Mark? Or
we have some footage of Stu on the
there I am.
from the Muppets, the animal.
Jarvis, you swine, you absolute swine.
Made Keith Moon look lightweight.
Well, the thing is, I could be Keith Moon, or could have been Keith Moon, but no, lovely question, Trev. I do like stuff like that. Jamie's got a serious question about football. And Jamie says, who would you put up front against Arsenal? Quick one around. Start with you, Johnny K. Who would you have up front?
I'll stick with the same 11 as Saturday, so I'll say Mbeumo.
Mark?
I want to say Sesko because I believe he should be given the opportunity to play against Arsenal, who tried to sign him because he missed the first game. But I wouldn't change a winning team.
Okay, and Jarvis?
I wouldn't put Mbeumo on top because we won't catch Arsenal unbalanced. Arsenal is such a great team, staying in balance all the time. How they attack, so it won't be the same game. And people got to realize we need to set out the game plan for the team we're up against. Manchester City play with an extreme high line, and they are out of balance. We won't see the same when it comes to Arsenal. So Mbeumo wouldn't be the right man, in my opinion. So 100% we will have to go with Cunha. Cunha is the guy. He has the ability to hold up the ball because it won't be transition in the same way. It will be us trying to attack against a established defense.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I would have gone with Sesko, and I that would be when we talk Thursday, Jarvis. Well, Friday, whenever we do it, Sesko would be my starting 11 for the reasons you've just made. I want him pushing on Gabriel and Saliba. They've made a couple of errors just recently, but apart from that,
they've only got one of them anyway, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so. They're very well.
They've got no left back, so they're not as balanced as they should be because they've got injuries at the back.
They've got injuries, but I think Sesko for me. Great question, Jamie. Very quick one, gentlemen. Any New Year's resolutions? I didn't this year, Trev, although when you're this perfect, why do you need them?
Yeah. I don't. Normally, I'm the same. Normally, I do, but no point. Why change? Why change one day? If you're going to change, you can change from tomorrow. You know.
Yes. Right. We did have one from. Okay. Yes. So, last question. Trev did want to know what the band was called, by the way. It can only be one thing, can't it, Jarvis? The Tactical Devils.
Yeah, that's the obvious name. That's the obvious name. Or
greatest name on the planet, pal.
But I like the what did Trev say?
Degenerates.
Yeah,
you don't want to be called a degenerate. Bilal, who's no longer with us tonight, he wants to know. It's a final question, guys. He would like to know: have you ever built something?
Yes.
Yeah.
I built a shed. I built some furniture. Built a what's it called?
I'm trying to think now. Have I built something?
I built snowman.
Yeah, I mean, I built something with Lego.
I built a hell of a lot of stuff with Lego.
Yeah, I'm trying to think now. I can't. Well, it depends what you mean by build up. Like I've put like a bed together and a cabinet together. That's what you mean by that. So I have done that.
In all seriousness, me and Jarvis can both say this. We both built a business. Jarvis
Oh, fucking! I was waiting for that to come.
Yes, there you go.
Literally, I had it in my head going, I bet they say they built a business, an empire, a career, whatever it wanted to be. I knew it was going to be in that. It pointed in that area.
We could do that, can't we, Jarvis?
Yeah. No. But we have built this channel,
this
fantastic
Yeah,
community. We have been
all
a part
part
of it.
Built
So,
this
yeah.
city.
But seriously,
my actual
have
day
you
job
ever
is
built
mechanical
something
engineering.
physically with your
So
hands,
nice
your
to
own
say I
hands?
actually do build shit. That's my job.
Yeah, well, in that case. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the Q&A. I'm going to put the main man, the host, into the channel. It's been a great show. The questions, I love the questions. Some of them have been absolutely brilliant, as always. Keep them coming. And Jarvis, I will leave it to you.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming on the show. It's been a great show. It's always like this, the Jarvis's Corner. Even on a slow night, we have always something to talk about because when it comes to Man United and football and you guys, there's always opinions and talking points. And also we covered a lot of ground. We talked about the Mainoo, we talked about the ex-players, the mystery player, the signings. Talked about violent conduct in football. We covered a lot of things. So always great to have you guys on. Always great to see all the people tuning in the panel. Thank you for all the brilliant questions. I want to thank Bilal for the super chat coming in. Thank you so much, Bilal, for supporting the channel with the donations. And guys, if you haven't, please do us a favor and I really mean it. It's so important. You have to smash the like every time you come on the show. I know it's tedious, it's boring, but you have to do it. It's so important for us. And also, if there's nothing coming up in the next couple of days, I think the next show will be on Thursday. If there's some breaking news, Stu and I will try to do a show tomorrow. Around 7, 8-ish, 9-ish, who knows when we are ready. But I know Stu has a very busy week this week. So
I'm back early tomorrow. We'll need to do, if you don't mind, Thursday, because of Jakey's birthday Friday. We're all going out for dinner. But no, I'm back early. I've got a really early start, but I'm going to be back.
Okay, then we'll do a show, a short show a little bit early tomorrow, around 7, 8-ish, and we'll do the preview on Thursday, the Arsenal preview. So guys, stay tuned. Press that bell notification so you get a notification every time we go live. And at the end, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And by the way, I made a poll on Kobbie Mainoo's wages. 46% of you meant that he should be on 80K a week. And 38 believed 120 was sufficient, and only 8% meant he needed more, 150 or 200K. So there you have it from the Devilish Tacticos, you guys. So thank you for being part of the channel, and we will see you tomorrow night. So thank you, everybody, and have a good night. Sleep well, and bye.